welcome. This is episode 37 of So Well Spoken. This is going to be a shorter episode. It's just me and Angelus here today.
Yep.
We kind of gave up on the idea of Dreams, our Slaven, ever coming back. Slaven hasn't talked to us in like a month. We must have slighted him in some way. We know how we slighted Dreams. So we know what we did there, at least. There's no mystery to why he's not around. But so Mike, who was on episode 35, is gonna be regularly on the show once he gets his mic, which should be in time for the next episode. But for now, we just want to do something short, just so that we stay on our release schedule. I'm actually really sick right now.
I was gonna ask if you're high, but
no, I'm really sick. Like, my kidneys have been aching.
Oh shit.
And so I think I have a kidney infection. And
damn.
Like right now I have like a really bad fever.
That's dedication, because I would have not done this.
Yeah, it's been getting worse as the weekend's gone on. And we just need that Bevel money to come through, because I don't know if I could cover these hospital bills. And just, Tristan, if you're listening, please. Man. We're just trying to get those signature fades. That's all we want, man.
Moris's life is in your hands, my dude.
All right, the first thing I want to talk about, Malia Obama.
Yep.
She's 18 still, I believe.
She is.
And she's taken a year off of school before she goes to Harvard.
Correct.
And part of that year off included going to Lollapalooza, the music festival. Mm-hmm. And she has almost every day there's like a picture of her, or there were when the festival was ongoing, of her just like being at a music festival and people being outraged.
Yeah. They caught a picture of her smoking marijuana and like the whole world spazzed the fuck out. Like, oh,
before that, even like there's like a vine of her dancing, and people were like, "Oh my god,
look at her dancing! This is
dancing to music."
Yeah, they were really upset, talking about their kids can no longer look up to her. Like, what the fuck?
There's some dude saying how there's no way that he would allow Malia to be his daughter after how she acted at Lollapalooza. If she's going to Harvard, if your daughter gets admitted into Harvard, I think you did a pretty solid job.
Yeah, I would say so, man. Like, I'd be bragging that my daughter was at Lollapalooza. Like, oh, man, my daughter going to Harvard and she's doing all this shit.
She's just chilling out for now because, I don't want to overwhelm her, but she's doing the damn thing. Like, she's going to fucking Harvard, man.
Like, she was going to Harvard. Like, she hasn't been in the spotlight at all, like, these last 8 years, other than, like, when she's out with her family. And, like, oh, Lord forbid she does something that every damn 18-year-old wish they could do, which is go to Lollapalooza and just fucking be 18, dance and do eat. Like, it's not even that big of a deal at all. Like,
it's really not. I was doing worse things around her age.
Yeah. That's the reason why I can't fault her. Like, I've done way worse. It was like, oh no, she's dancing and she smoked a little bit of weed. Like, she took like half a puff. It was like a piff. She's like and that was it. And
less than her dad took.
Yeah, by a far amount. It's like, she took half a puff. Her dad, like, he lived in that shit. And people are so upset about it. And it's like, yo, it's not that deep. Take it easy. And they're like, oh, she should be working. She should get a job. And then you turn around and you see Sasha, and they're levying complaints about Sasha that she's working a common job that can go to somebody else. Like, you don't need this job. You're the president's daughter. And it's like, dude, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It must really suck for Malia being under such a watchful eye, like, her entire teenage years.
Yeah. I mean, I could imagine. So, like, that, and I feel bad for Sasha, too, because, like, now she's going to constantly get compared to Malia, man. Like, if she doesn't get into Harvard, like, oh my God, what did Obama go wrong? Like, damn.
It's funny because studies show that, by and large, white teens get way deeper into drug use than minority teens.
Yeah, I mean, minorities have been yelling that out for ages, and it's like nobody ever listens to us. It takes a study by white people for them to really realize this shit. Every time. It's like minorities scream out, hey, they're killing us at a disproportional rate. Nobody believes them. All of a sudden, a study comes out, oh my God, I didn't know this. And it's like, oh my God, here we go with this shit again.
That reminds me, I was listening to this podcast and these two guys were saying how much they didn't like the term white privilege. Basically just like being stupid as fuck. And I get why they don't get it. It made sense to me like as soon as I finished. It's because they lack the ability to put themselves in someone else's shoes. That's the issue. Because when they hear the word privilege, they're thinking of like getting some sort of preferential treatment. But they don't understand that white treatment in America is preferential to non-whites. To a non-white person, when you see a white person interact with the cops like they're an adult instead of a child.
Yeah.
Or, you know, not have to worry about certain things like having your government name on a resume and not worry about whether or not it's going to be treated fairly. That's from a person of color. When you're looking at that, that's a privilege, but they don't see it as a privilege. They see that as just, you know, that's normal. That's just average treatment. So when they see this term white privilege, they don't understand that it's not it's a term for people of color to discuss this issue. It's not really for white people. It's not for white use. Because it doesn't really make sense for a white person to be saying, oh, your white privilege is this. It's because you're sharing the same privilege. It's not really a privilege, really. And that's kind of the issue. Like, it's just normal ass fair treatment. But it's kind of like, I don't know, like sarcastic to call it privilege.
I mean, yeah, the whole thing with white privilege is like, I talked to a few, white guys, and every time that phrase is brought up, they get so defensive, and it's like, they automatically bring up that whataboutism about what about, minority privilege. I'm like, we don't have any, my dude. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like, we were conversing, and like, it always literally comes back to the N-word.
N-word, yeah.
It's like, holy shit, dude, are you serious?
It's the one thing they don't got.
It's like the weirdest like counter argument ever, because it's like, number one, I actually can't stop you from saying it. I can react to you saying it, but I can't actually like make you not say it.
Yeah, because by the same token, like if someone tries to discriminate against me in the hiring process because of my name, I can't just like, nope, I got the job anyway. You could just be mad at me.
Yeah,
like so that is an option.
But like, that's always the go-to counter argument. It's like, well, what about your privilege? Like, it's always that. And this was on Twitter, actually. Like, this one guy was like, well, you guys get all the food stamps. I'm like, well, you guys take all of the Medicaid, and then you bitch about you don't want the government interfering with your Medicaid, and then you complain about not wanting universal health care. And I'm like, so really, if you're really going to complain about that, there's still a privilege that you have over us. Like, you can take different benefits and not get seen as being lazy and things like that. But yet the moment we do, we're lazy. We need to cut, you turn the system off and all this nonsense. And it's like, again, that's another privilege that you guys don't realize you have. But yet, like, we would love that privilege. Like, it's just being seen as an individual, not as a, monolithic entity is like the big takeaway from it. It's like, I would love to just be like, I think for all minorities, that like being able to fail as an individual and not have it reflect on the greater, the greater community is something that we all really want and strive for. And it's like, if we got that, I think, I'm not gonna say things would be better, but shit, I think for each, on an individual level, as far as like societal pressure and things like that, it would be a lot better.
One thing my wife pointed out to me when she was saying that she goes to like message boards that are predominantly white women. Mm-hmm. She's like, there is very little like resistance to the acknowledgement of white privilege. And she's like, I think it has a lot to do with women being able to see male privilege. Yeah. And it's just a easy parallel to draw, whereas white men don't have any sort of parallel to draw when it comes to being discriminated against. So it's their bubbles like reinforced.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's basically about it. Cause like, you can really apply that to every group too. It's like, even like males of every, minority group, they have a certain level of privilege over their female counterparts. And it's like, they don't really see the plight that, their female counterparts go through, because it's like, whoa, that's not really, it's the same thing that white people basically echo to us, or minorities in general, is that they don't see X, Y, and Z as a privilege, they see it as just something that both, like, a lot of times they think that it's not a privilege, like that both groups actually have that exact same right / privilege, and they don't understand how it's different for them versus everybody else. And like, yes, you can say that we're both quote unquote equal in the broad sense, but when you get down to minute details, it's like it breaks apart really quickly. And it's like a lot of them, I guess, just can't, as you said, step outside of their bubble to really see that.
I'm really sick. I have my secret medicine right here, some clear soda, hoping it's going to save my life.
I hope it saves your life too.
This may never make it to air, and you're gonna be the only one who hears this.
Damn! I just heard from Moris the other week. Shit was all good.
Oh, that one article I sent you.
Send me an article.
I put in our super secret So Well Spoken chat.
Oh, okay. Word. I was about to say, dude, what are you talking about, Moris?
Dude,
the sickness has got you so fucked up, my dude.
It's about the racial wealth gap.
Oh man, I didn't even see this.
Yeah, this has been going around for the past week. It's a really good write-up about how it will take the average black family in America 228 years to accumulate the average wealth of a typical white household.
Not even shocked, because the wealth of the black community has not really increased much since civil rights movement. Like, that's the sad part. We're still like, I don't think we even crossed the 5-digit threshold. We're still at like in the thousands, like 9,000, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
It's dire. Latino families is at 84 years.
Yeah.
But the article also says it's projected to get worse. So it's like it's going to take you this long to get to the average wealth of a typical white household today. But by the time you get that wealth, the average white household will have widened the gap further.
Yeah. It's something that all of us have been saying and have been echoing and like trying to get change with protesting and all other avenues. And it always takes these crazy, surveys and articles and research to confirm what minorities have been telling, white America for the longest. And it's like, it sucks that it takes an article and, research from different institutes for people to really, for those in power, I should say, to really wake up and realize that things are like completely fucked on like so many levels. And I hate that it's like that, because like, number one, the only reason why I should say the only reason why I hate it is because you can explain to people day in and day out how the system is rigged against you, like citing sources and things like that, and they're not going to listen. But the moment, an article has been put out and it gains steam and like it gets circulated through media, like all of a sudden then people want to listen. And they're not actually listening to you, they're listening to the article, the white people who disseminate the article to make it, consumable for the average person to understand it. And when they do that, a lot of times, like, unfortunately, something like Fox News, like they make it worse. Like they somehow twist it to still make it seem like it's everybody's fault for this, and well, it's that minority group's fault that they're like this because they're lazy. And it's not, our fault, or it's not the country's fault or the laws or anything that's in place. It's always the oppressed's fault as to why things are the way they are. And basically it just really reinforces that really fucked up narrative of bootstraps, which I really hate so much. Like every time
I really do think that history is going to look back at the period between like 1970 onward as a really dangerous time, because people are so adamant to not look at history. Mm-hmm. So they live very much in the moment, in the year that they are currently in. And when you look around, like, okay, black people or people of color in general are allowed to vote. They could own homes. There's laws against discriminating against them. So what's the issue? But as one of the people who put this study together points out, is that wealth is one of those rare indicators that points a portrait of the past.
Yeah.
And the only reason that white households by and large have much more wealth than Black and Hispanic households is because Black and Hispanic families have, for decades prior to the 70s, been kept out of wealth building government programs.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1940s, when the government tried to build the middle class, where it was essentially handing out homes and making it very easy and accessible for white America to gain home ownership, which the study points out home ownership is the biggest, one of the biggest culprits in the difference of wealth, is that, you know, we were not allowed to participate in this in the 40s and 50s when they had like when tract homes like came and they're like building neighborhoods basically. And it wasn't until the Fair Housing Act where you couldn't discriminate against people anymore. But then that growth of the middle class was kind of over at that point.
Yeah.
Like that times had changed enough where that wasn't really the move. And so during those like 15 to 20 years or however long, they were trying actively to get the average American citizen to own their home, which, I mean, was a great idea. You look back and like it was a big contributor to America becoming like a great economic superpower, but it was not something that Black or brown families could participate in.
Yeah.
And so now we're decades removed, and these families are able to build wealth off of home ownership. There's so much you could do. Just that little thing is so huge when it comes to wealth, because once you pay off your house, if you pay off your house, you could pass it down to your kids, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if you just live in it, a mortgage is typically cheaper than what you're going to pay in rent if you've had the house for any amount of years. And then you could borrow against your house. So you're essentially living in a credit card. And this is something that was designed for the American people when the American people was only white America.
Yeah. I mean, you also got to take into consideration, you know, during that time when they were trying to build the middle class, they were also building out the infrastructure of America. You know, the highway program. I forgot what its title was, but you know, and even in that, like, it destroyed so many, you know, communities that weren't white. Like, they would build highways right through communities, destroying them, like, just like literally tearing them down, forcing the tenants out. And like, that really crippled, you know, Black and brown communities. And people don't understand that. Like, as you said, like, having a house is like pretty much the single best way to accumulate wealth in this country, because that's like, when you pass that on to the next person, like your next, the next generation, that is one huge bill that they don't have to worry about. Like, so like, if you have a house and you pass it on to your son and or your daughter, that money that they will put towards mortgage goes towards other things that help them further accumulate wealth. And a lot of brown and Black families did not get that. So like, we are basically starting from the bottom and we're still not here. Oh God, that was horrible. But
that's staying in there. I'm not editing that out.
But I mean, that's basically what it is. Like, we are like right now, we are at that point where white Americans were prior to the government stepping in to help them with home ownership and things like that. Like, you have pockets of individuals who are buying homes, you know, and I'm pretty sure the statistics will back it up that you are seeing an increase in, you know, minorities gaining home ownership, but it's nowhere near at the same level as white people had back when the government was trying to make that a thing for America at large. And so because of that, we're continuously behind white America. And because they've already established themselves and they, you know, they have homes and they have accumulated wealth via their house, that gap is like going to be impossible to overcome, because once you accumulate wealth, it becomes, for lack of a better word, easier to continue to accumulate it. But I was like, we are at the point now where we are just getting the homes. We haven't got to the point where we're starting to accumulate wealth off of our homes. That's not going to be a thing for like another couple generations, in my opinion. It might even be more. And so it's like, it puts us at an obvious, huge disadvantage. And the thing that sucks is that nobody, well, I won't say nobody, but a large part of white America refuses to acknowledge that and acknowledge how that destroys and or is holding back our communities.
Coates, he had a article in the Atlantic called Case for Reparations that everyone should read. It actually won a few awards, I believe. And it's going to talk about what we're talking about here in a lot more detail. But one of the things that it did say in his article, that beyond the government aiding black families from gaining home ownership, he went back to before the Civil War and tracked some land that was actually taken from black families that they were able to acquire or rightfully own. And he's tracked that to be tied to valuable land such as oil field, a country club in Virginia, and a minor league baseball stadium.
That's so fucked.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. So yeah, go read that if you want to learn more about that.
Word, I'll have to read that on a day when I don't get angry.
All right, so the Olympics are going on right now.
Yeah.
America's doing great. This is the one time when we could set aside our differences and just say America's being dope.
Yeah.
It's really crazy. I mean, there was the first gold in women's shot put was this year.
Yeah.
Was a black woman. Simone Biles is like the new hotness right now.
Freaking beast. Like, I don't know shit about gymnastics, but I watch, I'm like, this is the most amazing shit I've ever seen.
Like, yeah, I see her like bust her routines out, and then the judges just being like, okay, that's the new perfect. I'm like, damn, I guess. Like, I don't know anything about this sport, but the judges are like, you could hear their smiles over the commentary of how amazing this girl is, and I guess I'll take their word for it.
I mean, she has a move that's named after her now. Like, fuck, the Biles. I don't know what the fuck the Biles is, but I know she has a move that's after her. I'm like, that's dope. I think it's the pole vaulting event, like where instead of running on the little launcher with her feet, she uses her hands. And like, apparently, I don't know. But all I know is that shit is dope as fuck. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, how you're doing it, if you're summoning the powers of Satan or God, whatever, but keep doing it because this is badass.
Oh, I had a story. I forget what it was, but it was related to the Olympics.
Gabby?
I don't remember. I'm pretty sick.
Guys, if Moris dies, I will set up a GoFundMe. Maybe Tristan Walker will holler at us then.
Whatever. Well, Simone Biles is dope. That's all that really matters. And Ledecky's like killing people.
Yeah, man.
Just destroying people.
I don't want to understand how the fuck that's even possible in the water.
Like, how she's so much better than everyone else. Like, she beat someone by 11 seconds.
You go check for gills, really.
In the Olympics. Like, she ain't like racing her cousin in a pool. She's against the other best swimmers in the world. And she's like, can go make a sandwich when it's over and still be done.
Like, 11 seconds is fucking huge, man. People don't understand that shit.
That's so much time in a race.
Like, in the time it took her to beat you, another race had just started and ended. Like, Jesus Christ. I would probably just give up on life at that point. Like, I'm not going back to the Olympics. Fuck this. I'm just going to get a normal job. Hopefully nobody knows who the fuck I am. Like, hey, aren't you that girl who got beat by 11 seconds? Makes no damn sense at all. Michael Phelps has got like, what, 21 gold? I think that's what he's got.
I think it's 23 now.
See, look at that shit, man.
Yeah.
USA's number one.
Well, then Usain Bolt.
Yeah, his is third back to
styling too.
Yeah.
Like running backwards and just destroying people.
Like, Jesus. The only thing faster than Usain Bolt is his hairline.
If Usain Bolt was in America, that hairline would be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 29 too, man. Damn. Like, he's got that 40 hairline, man. Must be hereditary, but it doesn't even matter. Dude's fast as shit. All the best athletes have bad hairlines anyway.
You have to have a fucked up hairline to be good at sports.
That's how you know your greatness. Like, man, is my hairline fucked? Yeah, I'm gonna be one of the best in whatever sport I play.
I better be the greatest with this hairline.
But yeah, like, America does, like, I think the Olympics is the only time I actually care about America. Sad to say it, but like, normally I'm like very indifferent towards the idea of patriotism and being like proud of being American. But then the Olympics come on, all of a sudden I'm like, yo, fucking damn right, I'm proud to be American.
Oh, okay. Now I remember about there's a black woman who won the first gold in, I think it was swim relay.
Oh yeah, Simone. I forgot her last name.
Manuel?
Yes, Simone Manuel.
Yeah. Okay, that was wild.
The Simone on Simone violence, man. It's just, they're just destroying things. It's amazing.
It took, I think it was a post on Twitter to like make me realize how fucking crazy it was. Because for a long time, America was not very fond of black people being in swimming pools. And then to have a woman win gold like that is like remarkable. Someone was posting the history of swimming pools. Like, there was that black actress who put her foot in a hotel swimming pool and they drained it.
Wait, what?
You didn't, it was like in the 50s or 60s?
That's probably why I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, she stayed at a hotel and she took a photo where she put her foot in the pool and the manager had the pool drained.
Oh man, that's fucked up.
Yeah, I saw a photo of a hotel manager throwing acid in a pool so that people wouldn't go in it because there was black and white people at this pool and he didn't want them in the pool together.
Oh, see, that kind of shit right there, that would make me fuck with them on purpose. Like, every time they refill the pool, I'd walk back out there and just dip in there like, I'd be an asshole on purpose.
There was some statistics someone threw up about how when America integrated its public pools, country club admissions and the construction of backyard pools went through the roof. So white people were trying their damnedest to get out or have a way to swim without having to swim with black people.
Yeah.
And then in turn, when all the white people, fly out of these public pools, I mean, how many public pools are around you right now?
Oh, shit.
Exactly. Like, as soon as the white people ditched them, they got maintenance went out the window. They kind of went to shit, and then everyone stopped using them, and then they eventually get shut down or get defunded. So yeah, the racist history of the public pool is pretty fucking deep.
I gotta look it up and see how many we have around me.
I think there's 2 around me, but like, I'm in LA County.
Oh, wait. Okay, there's only 2. Yeah, there's only 2. Shit. And we had a whole bunch when we used to live in Italy, so that's, yeah. It's like when I was overseas, my parents were military, like, there were so many, public pools, like, there were so many around us that it was basically just part of our curriculum, not school curriculum, but, our summer youth program curriculum to go swim and learn how to swim, which is the only reason why I even know how to swim, to be honest. Like, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have never tried swimming, because mostly I don't really care about swimming, to be completely honest with you. Like, I'd rather stay on land. I'm not trying to drown. Yeah, like, I knew the general takeaway when it came to the public pools, because I think I read about it or heard about it in passing before, but I've never sat down to really read about it and, see the history behind it. And I don't know why I'm shocked. I'm not really shocked, but I don't know why it's the history is racist as hell. Like, honestly, at this point in my life, I'm just going to assume that everything in the past, when it has to do with anything in America, is racist. Like, racism was at the founding of it, and just go from there.
Like, it's almost cartoonish and silly. Like, you're so racist you didn't want to be in a pool with a black person. Like that's kind of like, it's almost unbelievable. Like if you were to tell a kid today, like people at one point were so racist they didn't want to share a public pool with other people.
Trying to keep the pool, the genetic pool clean, I guess. It was a metaphor for them. I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Simone Manuel, or Manuel, or however you say your last name.
I always say Manuel, but some people say Manuel. I don't know. They're both the same. I guess one's English, one's Spanish in pronunciation.
She won gold for America.
Yep, greatest country on earth for this Olympic
for the next couple days.
And then I'll go back to saying America ain't shit.
All right, I just wanted to record something quick just so we could stay on schedule. So this is probably going to be about the end of this episode.
Word.
So in 2 weeks, we'll be back with Mike.
Our new permanent third.
Hopefully he sticks around. Our thirds tend to not stick around. So if Mike like suddenly disappears off the face of the earth, that it might be our fault.
We got to do something better.
So check the website. Check the website, subscribe, leave a review. SoWellSpoken.com or SWS Podcast on Twitter.
Word.
And I'll see you next time.
Later.